how it performed in accessibility testing. The first test I always run is to see what the color contrast is of the text on backgrounds. We have different types here. We have the text here for RefWorks, and then the background. And you see it passes at the AA level, and that is compliant. If we come over here to the gray text, I didn't get that color properly. Let's click on that. And then you see it passes again. So the color contrast has been improved. If I have a checkbox checked, all the icons show up here, but if I take it off, you'll see they gray out, and of course those won't pass the test, but they don't necessarily have to because you can't actually use them. The next test that we're going to do is to try to use RefWorks with just our keyboard. And basically you want to start from the URL address line here in your browser, and that is the Alt-D command. And then I press Tab key to move down to the content. It takes me to East Carolina University. And when I press Tab again, it should go to language, but it's probably going to some content that I can't see in the background because it takes a few presses to get to language. And then if I want to drop the language down, I press Enter key and I can choose another language. If I want to get out of that, I press Escape key. If I press Tab again, it takes me to my name, and again I can drop the menu down and then go down through the content. And this is a little bit of a problem. Instead of it going into that listing, it's dropped into something in the background, so I have to press Escape. Now what I want to be able to do is come over to this content here, but I found that I can't get to it at all. And if I continue to press Tab key, you'll see it never goes there. So I'm at the Add button right here. And of course the grayed out one assigned to folder is not active because I don't have any of these checked. So if I continue to press Tab, I'll eventually get into these articles. But it's just gone through this list, and then of course it's showing me information over here about the different references. But I want to get over to all documents, and I cannot do that. So it fails the keyboard test on a couple of levels. The next test is to see whether the screen will magnify for people with visual impairments. So I'm going to press Control and plus and minus, and both of those work. Another thing that you can do is you can go to magnifier, run that to see if it's going to work as well. There are different areas that I want to test in RefWorks using voice activation. The first area is going to be whether I can drop these down, whether I can click these buttons or this navigational information here and do check boxes. So let's begin. Wake up, mouse grid, 2, 6, 7, 3, click, move mouse down, faster, faster, click, go to sleep. So that test worked well. Let's move on. Mouse grid, 1, 7, click, go to sleep. We might as well try the search box. Mouse grid, 2, 7, 1, click, electrolytes. Mouse grid, 1, 9,
2, click. So it's doing a search right now. Mouse grid. 4, 5, 4, click. Go to sleep. So I was able to do the checkbox, I was able to do the drop down, navigation, enter data with voice activation, so all these things work. So I have JAWS running currently, and I'm going to do some standard checks to see whether I can navigate the content here. The first thing that I noticed, because I was using the keyboard, is that there were invisible links underneath things that I could not see on the screen. And when I went to the
Alt-D,
top up here for the URL and then press tab,
downloads bar tab, East Carolina University link,
and when I got to university here and press tab again,
tab, privacy policy link,
I knew it was clicking on something or setting on something that I couldn't see. And if I press it again,
tab, terms and conditions link, tab, cookie policy link.
Now those 3 items are what stood between East Carolina University and language. And when I press insert on the numerical keypad plus F7, I'll find those.
Links list dialog.
So there they are.
Privacy policy.
Privacy policy, terms and conditions, and cookie policy. The other part that I couldn't handle was over here. I couldn't get to this content using the keyboard. Now if I scroll up here in the list of the links, you'll see that the person who's using the screen reader is able to get to them. So if I click on all documents or search databases or last imported, I'm going to be clicking on these things. And notice there's also a letter. I'm going to try that after I go ahead and
F all documents.
Select F all documents and hit enter. All right, now it did give me a listing for last imported, so I'm going to see if that shows up on the list here again.
Links list dialog.
And
links list view.
I'm going to go down and look for it.
S last imported.
And it has a little letter S next to it. So I'm going to escape out of that. Press the letter S on my keyboard.
No more elements of same type found.
And it wasn't able to find it. It appears to me that the company tried to make keystrokes for those elements, but at least for the screen reader, you're able to get to things like my folders or tags or deleted or sharing. So let's go to the sharing element here on that navigation.
Links list dialog. Phillip V S _ L sharing. Enter.
Now it says share folder or folders at East Carolina University. And so I'm going to now see if that shows up in my list.
Links list dialog. D share a folder. X folders at East Carolina University. Enter.
And so there you have it. That content that was not accessible using the keyboard is accessible using JAWS. Now, another element that you might want to be able to handle, and I'm going to use JAWS again to get to the search databases.
Links list dialog. D share under S I search databases /
is to get to the control for the search. So I'm going to use the insert F5.
Select a form field dialog. Type search term MI PubMed button. Type search terms and press enter. Edit. Enter. Navigation region. Type search terms and press enter. There link there. Type search terms and press enter. There wrapping. Use RefWorks to search your institution's catalog and other online resources.
And I can't seem to type in that screen right now. So I'm going to press Shift Tab.
Shift Tab.
And then Tab.
Advanced Tab. Export and Sharing Tab. Import. Shift Tab. Export. Shift Tab. Advanced. Shift Tab. Type search terms and press enter. Type in text. G E N E T C S.
And then I can press enter.
Enter.
So it does the search and it comes back with the answers. And now I had a little bit of trouble with that. I'm going to try that again. I'm going to go
Select a form field dialog.
to the search
Type search
terms.
enter. Type in blank, 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 wrap list end. Type search terms and press enter.
And again, I couldn't type in the box, so I'm going to press Shift Tab.
Shift tab, tab, Shift tab, Shift tab, Shift tab, 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 tab.
And so there's a little bit of
checkbox
a
not
problem
checked.
here for those who are trying to do searches. The other element that I could try is to go to the PubMed.
Select a form, types, MI PubMed button. Enter. Navigation region.
I'm now up here with PubMed, and then I'm going to press Tab.
Tab. Semicolon link. Search.
It
Shift
hits
enter.
Enter.
Type search terms and press enter.
And
Type
I'm
in
going to
text.
try sucrose.
S-O-E.
And then Enter.
Enter.
So it's a little tricky, but you can get it to work. So once the search is done, I can manipulate it and move it and put it into folders. Though it doesn't look that easy to do, it's all possible. Someone would have to go through some training on how to do all those things using JAWS. This has been Points of Access with Phillip White. We hope you've enjoyed this video.